This conference will now be recorded.
Actually, you know what? Before we start, I'm going to pull.
This conference will now be recorded.
All right. So, as always, everything that we're going to be talking about today is for educational purposes only, and nothing is intended as any type of investment advice. So, Friday afternoon, things really started to pick up. And it was almost, unfortunately, the market ended, is when things really started getting good. So Apple, if we recall, we had a huge amount of bid prints that came in at that 150 level. Now, coming into this morning as well, if you look right here, about 8:18, you can see at 149, all the way down here, we got even more selling now underneath that 150 level. So basically, overall, what were our expectations of this is we need a way bigger pull-up than this little pull-up that we got coming in on Friday. Based off the amount of prints that we had at 150, this thing should have came up way more. And then the fact that we just had at 149, when the market opens, we're going to be looking for a pretty substantial pull-up. Should almost look like an up day overall. One thing we do have to keep in mind, though, we do have a half a day today, so I'm not expecting much. I know most people that are even here are pretty much already checked out, and it's only 3 after 9. So it's just something that you do want to keep in mind. The volume that we're going to be seeing today is not going to be anything spectacular. All right, things are going to be very slow, but overall, still based off that selling that we have here and the selling that we have at 150, we're going to be expecting way more of that, of an up movement. And other than that, guys, that's pretty much almost the only thing that I have seen going on out there. Let's take a look at our scanners. Let's see if anything new has come up. But that's basically, I mean, based off prints, it's not even much of a show of hand because of the fact that volume, if we look at, volume that came into this morning, 475,000 shares, that's nothing special for Apple at all. We can see, the average volume per minute is, under 10,000 shares. We didn't really get anything much, but let's take a look. So the gainer side of things, we have MB 152,000 shares, all based off some bigger prints, nothing really there. MICT 445,000 shares. Now, that's not terrible, but you know what? For a dollar stock and the fact that the orders are so thick out there, I really would have liked to see a lot more volume coming into this. So we have a little, some decent buying, and the fact that on pretty much no volume that it was able to hold above that one level certainly shows the variables of being able to make a little bit more of a run as we get closer to the open of the market. It's going to have to break past. We have this double top that's kind of sitting right here, and then breaking past that double top, if we do get some volume, no reason we can't see it get back to that 140 level, but it's all going to be based, like I said, based off of that volume. Orders available out there are huge, in comparison to what we would typically see during a pre-market. So the fact that we're just not getting that much volume really shows us that there's just not as much interest in it as we would like. So we're going to need to see that volume break out for us to really be able to break past, even to get to that double top back up here. And then obviously to break out of it, we're going to need a lot more to get past that 150 level. Next one we have is SBGL, 218,000 shares, absolutely nothing. And then MFGP, absolutely just some bigger prints. It looks like 115,000 shares, but nothing going on, no real trading whatsoever. Moving over to the loser side of the things, I mean, the list is definitely longer, but it does not really provide anything much more than what the gainers list did. So we have NBEV, which we were watching just kind of trickle back. Nice trend to the downside, but unfortunately, there's nothing that you could do with it. It is hard to borrow. If you have TradeStation, make sure you go out there and look to see if you can get shares. It's not terrible. It's moved a whole bunch coming into this morning, especially based off that dollar. But there's really not any type of show of hand or much going on there yet. So we're going to keep that on our list, but it's going to have to show something because as of right this second, you can see there's really no controlling prints coming into it. Next, coming up, TLRY, 37,000 shares. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because we're coming underneath that 70 level. Obviously, that the news of them going together with Budweiser, drove the price up way higher than it was supposed to be, but it's came right back to reality. So just something to keep an eye on. As you guys know, I am still short that. CRON, another one, it's, downtrend, just like NBV, nothing really going on there. UWT is an ETF. ACB, 146,000 shares, but just no real trading going on. It's just one of those days. Well, it's going to be one of those days. Our pre-market mornings have not been that great, and we know for a fact that today's just going to be pretty low. I've gotten like 20 to 25 notifications this morning. All these stocks are hitting 52-week lows. Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you look almost at every one of our everyday stocks. I mean, look at BABA. I'm just going to go based off of what I have, up on my screens right now. You look at BABA, okay, just being destroyed. You look at Apple. We already know that being destroyed. You look at Facebook. Okay, another one being destroyed. It is just absolutely, it's just it's like the apocalypse out there right now. And on Friday, coming into Friday, with the amount of selling that we saw, especially with Apple at that 150 level, just goes to show that this thing, it is not over yet. We still have a bunch more room towards that downside before we start to see these things, really starting to come back in. Yeah, NVDA, even AMD. I mean, all these stocks out there. Facebook, Twitter is coming towards their lows. They almost all look the same. So, based off of what we saw in Apple, remember, guys, that's what I kind of use. I don't watch the market, but I kind of use Apple and just the everyday market type stocks as my indication of what I'm looking for and what my expectations are. And as of right now, we keep seeing more selling at the lows, and if we keep getting new selling, that means it's not over. All right. So based off of today, we should be getting some pull-ups from all that selling that we saw from Friday, but that does not mean by any means that we are done with these moves down yet. Does this keep you from playing pull-ups, at least for positions in this environment? No, not at all. Especially as when you're trading throughout that day, it will make me a little bit more cautious for bullying, but I'm not going to stop playing pull-ups at all. I mean, for instance, when you have a stock like Apple that prints that much at 150, there's no way in hell that when I get that trigger towards that upside that I'm not going to take it. Worst comes to worst, I'm just going to keep it on a short leash. All right, I'm not going to give it as much room, shakeouts. My losses, I'm going to tighten up a little bit just because of the fact that, it's very likely that we might continue to see that bullying, but still going to play everything exactly the same. The way that I trade is never going to change, on just because of, what we see going on out there. Okay, percentages are the reason that tape reading works is because percentages are percentages. So if it doesn't work out the first time, I'll take it the second time, and more than likely that time is going to be the one. Could the 150 level being a cycle level mean it could take longer to truly break under, or might it go faster? 100%. I mean, the 150 is a huge level, so you're certainly going to have some people that are still holding Apple longer term that are probably going to try to make sure it doesn't go under. 150 is a very hard level for that thing to break underneath. Just like if it was on its way up, 150 was a very hard level for it to break going onto the upside as well. So yes, it should certainly take a little bit longer, just because you're going to have more people there. All right, guys. All right. So you know what? Today's going to be very slow. I know we have some new members. Welcome. This is not what it's normally going to be like, but today I'm going to tell you one thing. I'm probably going to be trading until about 10:30, 11, and then I'm probably not going to be doing too much. Especially with volume should die pretty quickly throughout the day. We might get some type of push going into 1 o'clock, but you know what? It's not even worth it. So obviously there'll be no afternoon meeting. All right, everyone that does celebrate, please have a wonderful Christmas, and everyone else have a wonderful time spending time with family and friends. Like I said, I will not be here on Wednesday, but I will talk to everyone Thursday morning. All right, guys, happy trading.